Today I was walking down the street with a grocery bag in my hand. I was coming home and I was thinking that my life has become almost like a Rolodex of chores, an endless list of chores. So when I wake up in the morning and as I'm having my coffee, I'm thinking, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta drop that off, I gotta pick that up. And then I go through the day, going through all of those chores, one by one. And then at the end of the day, I retire to my humble abode. And as I lay my head on my pillow, I start thinking about next day's chores. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Gotta drop that off, I gotta pick that up. And I fall asleep. And so I realized that I'm almost like a hamster on a hamster wheel, spinning and spinning, going nowhere. And as my mind is entertaining such thoughts, I realize that a group of kids is walking ahead of me. 2 boys and 3 girls, and 14, 15, 16 teenagers. And they're smiling and laughing. They got a twinkle in their eye. And I realized that, I'm walking with my grocery bag in my hand, stiff with a purpose. And they're gliding effortlessly, spinning in beautiful pirouettes. Of course all their hopes and dreams are still intact. All their hopes and dreams still have that new car smell. Whereas mine have been crushed into the finest dust, into vapor. Almost like a layer all around me. But instead of protecting me, it's actually keeping me inside like a prisoner. And then I turn left and I go home, and those kids keep walking down the street, and I'll probably never see them again in my life. And so I go home, I sit down and have lunch by myself, watch some random video. But I can't stop thinking about those kids, and not so much about the kids, but about how I felt about them. I was feeling envy of them because, I was also once a kid, 14, 15, 16, a teenager. And I looked up at the adults, and they could do anything. They could drive and stay up all night and drink and smoke and party and go whatever they want. And I was just a kid, I could do anything. And now I look at those kids and they can do anything in the world. And I'm locked on a hamster wheel. What kind of a man am I that I'm envious of some random kids on the street? But then it dawned on me, just as I'm sure it did on my dad before me and his dad before him, that my job, my mission is to help those kids, to guide those kids. Because on their young and fragile shoulders lie not only their hopes and dreams, but my very own. And then a cold sense of dread started washing over me, as I'm sure it did to my dad before me and his dad before him. As I know I know life will throw those kids and their hopes and their dreams into the grinder. It's just that they don't know it yet.